These shorts aren't exactly battle-tested, but maybe they'll create a distraction.
Come on, we need to get moving.
Hi! Welcome to drunken narration for Rage, the Scorchers, Rage the Scorchers DLC Part 4. This is entering Wellspring Tunnels, and Sarah has asked us to infiltrate and open this. And there's some weird little buttons that you've got to fiddle with here, but she's about to get beaten up, so I'll let it play out.
You did it! The door's open! Scorchers!
Ready or not, here I come!
It's okay, we're ready. We're ready for you and waiting. We're going to throw a wingtip at the door. That's how badass we are. Anyway, he took one in the face. The nail gun is kind of awesome against unarmored targets. Look, it destroys them. But so Sarah, she's been kidnapped by the Scorchers and we've got to go and save her. Is it Sarah or Sally? I can never remember. Sally's the one in the bar. Sarah is the one in the DLC. It's Sarah. Anyway, they're down. There's a body over here that I spotted on the way in, so I'm just looting that. There we go, delicious loots, $13. And then heading through this way. Oh, surprise! Hello, buddy. So shoot him a little bit. But then we're basically going to be in Mutant Town. It's kind of a replay of Mutant Bash TV. I'm just making an Apophis infusion. I came here with no bandages as well, which was kind of foolish. The Apophis infusion I suddenly remembered about. I was in the bar looking for the jackpot place. And I took a wrong turn again. And a dude gave me a quest to go and get some stuff, and I already had the stuff I needed, and he gave me a thing which increased my maximum health, so I made one there. And that's increased my health to 111 out of 100. And I think I get another one a bit later on, but we'll see. Anyway, there's some loot to pick up there, and the door's open, but this is basically the tunnels leading to the Scorchers HQ. I haven't explored the HQ yet. I'll save at the end when we pass through the door, but this room's kind of interesting. There's some loot lying around and I kind of go and grab it all, but there's a big old switch and I'm always loath to press switches before I've explored the area fully, and sure enough, here's a room with a lock grinder. And obviously the first thing to do after you use a lock grinder is build another one. You should always have at least one lock grinder in your inventory. Anyway, back up the stairs and it's time to flick the switch, and that activates some guns, some turrets with laser sights. And guess what? We're about to get a mutant invasion. And I kind of, I'm sitting here and shooting them as they come up was not the best move, I'll be honest. I mean, they've already taken some damage, so they're relatively easy to take down, although my aim, not brilliant. I play with gamepad, in case you didn't know. You'll probably know actually from the prompts and stuff on screen, but I've sped this up because it's basically just popping mutants and nearly dying. But again, the lack of bandages has made me a little bit cautious, because it means I can't heal, and I've only got one defib, and I haven't done the defib upgrade mission. And I actually had a look at the Rage wiki, and they've put a really nice flowchart, I guess it's called, on there, which shows how all the missions progress. And then if you look at schematics, it tells you which bonuses you get from what, doing what, and I need 20 Feltrite, I think, to get the defibrillator upgrade, which, well, there are two. There's one which is a story mission which makes it recharge quicker, and there's one that's an upgrade from getting 20 Feltrite for 20 Feltrite, which gives you an increased, or it gives you 2 defibs before you die, so that's quite nice. But I haven't got it, so it's kind of redundant to talk about. Anyway, I've worked out, sorry, I just had a quick rush around there looking for stuff, but there was no stuff, so I progressed through to the next room. And more mutants. And I've worked out the best way to deal with these mutants is not these ones. These guys are kind of weak. And I got a phone call here. You'll see I pause, and the phone call actually lasted about 15 minutes. So I come back in, and for some reason I've got my sniper rifle, and I'm like, oh god, what's going on? Oh, it's all gone a bit wrong. So I eventually switched to my shotgun and managed somehow not to die. But I obviously cut out the 10-minute pause screen because that would be dull. Yeah, no, you're just getting charged by mutants down this tunnel, and at this point they're relatively easy mutants. And there's a different type of mutant, the one that I called lambent in the previous video, which isn't lambent, but they basically spit and cloud your vision, and they take a proper beating, but when you loot them, They give you, I think, antiseptic solution or whatever it's called, antiseptic something, which is part of the bandages schematic. And when you make that, you can make a pophis solution with bandages and a couple of plants. And I've run out of the plants, and I seem to remember that was one of the Lambert ones, but I forgot to loot it. But the plants, headshot with a wing stick. It's a beautiful thing. But the increase in health is obviously better. It's going to do me more good than a single bandage at this stage. But later on I find some more cloth and I can make some more bandages, but that's right near the end. Anyway, those mutants are down. They're relatively easy, and we're about to see a new type of mutant. And they're heavily armoured. Nothing in there. They're heavily armoured. Ooh, there's some dog food. Delicious. I'll get to the point eventually. They're heavily armoured. Look, you can see one there in the distance. And they're actually a pain in the arse. The best way I found to deal with them was a wing stick to the face and then a shotgun to the body. And that takes them down pretty quickly. Like, you'll see one there. Wing stick. And then he's fallen down, but he's back up now. And they jump to the left and right pretty aggressively. But you'll see they're kind of spiky. They've got a bit of an exoskeleton thing going on. And they take a lot of punishment. Like, you can put 4 or 5 shotgun blasts directly into them before they die. So a wing stick to the head and then a shotgun blast to the body is probably the best way. Rebars also work really well. I died a couple of times during this mission. I'll point out when that happened. But I experimented with different gun types, and the rebars are really good. The problem is, well, the advantage of the rebars is that they shoot remarkably well from the hip. Like, they have very little spread. But that also requires that you have some skill with aiming. And my problem was I missed with a whole bunch. But the other advantage is if you miss, you can pick the bullets up afterwards. They just lie on the ground, so you can. It's like crossbow bolts. If you miss with them, you can go and snag them afterwards. But they're effectively big mutant skeletons, and they take a lot of punishment. This is somewhat embarrassing. Look, there's a dude there in the doorway, and he runs off, and I failed to kill him despite laying off about 5 shots at him, and he wasn't really even moving that fast. Anyway, through here, I think I speed this up a bit, but there's some feltrite crystals just around that corner. And then you get charged by these super mutants. And you'll see, initially I deal with them relatively quickly. Like, I work out, okay, wing stick, and then, there we go, wing stick. I think that one missed. And I pretty much run out of wing sticks, I think, during this fight. I get a bit overeager with them. But you'll see in a second, like, there's one that I just unload into. Like, probably 7 or 8 shots, nearly a full clip of shotgun ammo. But to no avail. I'm like, why hasn't the door open? Oh, okay, there's more coming. Here's a spitty one. These spitty ones upset me because they just ruin your vision so much. You've got no idea where they are. And they're okay on their own because the spit damage doesn't do too much damage. But this one we've got isolated at the moment. But antiseptic formula. There we go. Sorry, I'm rambling. I did tell you this was going to be drunk gaming or drunk narration 101. So now we've got 2 of these guys, and I struggled to take them down. I probably should have sped this up, but you'll see. Look, see, just shooting. I put like 5 shots directly into him, and they're still going. And there was a wing stick, and yeah, so wing sticks are the way forward for these guys. And part of me actually thought that I should have continued through the mission, and actually this is how I looked at the wiki earlier. Did I mention this? I apologise if I mentioned this. But I wanted to go and get advanced wing sticks. And there were like another 20 missions to do before I was at a position where I could get them, so I decided against it. But I think that if you're playing through Rage for the first time, I would do this mission towards the end of the game, certainly after you've found Janny's store, because Janny sells the advanced wing sticks and a bunch of other upgrades. So I thought maybe nail guns. Since the nail gun was a new weapon, maybe the nail gun would be a good weapon against these guys. It's not so great, primarily because, as you can see, when you're running around and therefore when you're shooting, the reticule spreads so aggressively. It doesn't do enough damage, at least for me, to justify the increased rate and fire, so all I end up doing is wasting ammo. Anyway, shooting him, eventually he dies. And somehow I didn't die here, but I think I save in a second, although I've cleanly cut that out. but I remembered to save here. Come on, just die, buddy, die. There we go. Antiseptic formula, delicious. And here we go. Okay, I'm making a bandage because I finally got some, and then an apophis infusion, which I forget to use until much later. Alright, and there's some ammo up there, which is delicious, and a body I can loot, and there was a save. That was my first save, I think, there. So, proceeding up here, I've switched weapons. I'm thinking, well, I've been given a lot of feltrite ammo. You see, I've got 240 rounds. I think I started it off, I bought 80. I'm thinking, well, if it's giving me a lot of feltrite rounds, feltrite's very good against anti-armor, or it's armor piercing, essentially. It's good against armored foes, I think it's described as. So I'm like, well, maybe I should shoot these guys with the feltrite ammo, but the problem I have is the machine gun. These guys jump to the left and right a lot, and I'm not a great shot, and so I end up just spitting a lot of bullets into air. So eventually I switch back to the shotgun. But you'll see later, for the next round after this goes on for a very long time, and hopefully I speed it up in a second. I think I do. Because it's just endless mutants, ultimately. But I'm just going to light a cigarette. That's what I'm going to do. Excuse me a second. Kids don't smoke, it's not cool. Just, you know, for the record. But, okay, we've sped it up. So, what I do in a bit is break out a sentry bot. Not a sentry bot. Maybe it is a sentry bot. It's not a sentry turret. It's one of the little spider things. Anyway, but they turn out to be awesome. Because they distract these guys. And the only time it really takes any damage is when I end up shooting it with a pop rocket. I've obviously died here, but I get an okay save. And these guys get electrocuted and I loot them. But I'm blinded again. But the sentry bot distracts them effectively enough that you can just unload into them from the side. And it's pretty good. They're very good at taking aggro. So I would recommend coming here with 4, maybe 5 sentry bots. And if you drop them out, you're going to do okay here. See, again, I'm trying the nail gun. I'm trying to switch weapons, but it doesn't do me much good. So I return to the... Oh, no, I return to the feltrite ammo on the assault rifle, but again, not doing a lot of good against them either. So eventually I switch back to the shotgun because that proves to be most effective. But it's essentially endless mutants. Until the Kraken arrives, when it's more mutants plus a Kraken. Anyway, they're down, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, no, there's still one more. It's just endless mutants from start to finish. Here he comes. Hey, buddy. Do you want some bullets in your face? But I think that if you're a decent shot, the feltrite armor is going to be quite good, or the rebar on the nail gun. Here's the Kraken. The feltrite armor on the nail gun. Here, so I'm making a sentry bot here, and I lay him down, and he distracts these guys. Look, see his health on the left, just above where it says grenades and buckshots. His health is fine. And then you'll see in a second, like I'm pop-rocketing this guy, which is explosive ammo for the shotgun. And it's actually pretty good. You'll see the reticule is very small, so it shoots exactly where you want. And the sentry bot's very good at taking aggro, but the Kraken's down now, thankfully. But this guy here, I forget I've got pop rockets on, and suddenly the sentry bot's health dies. So he's actually remarkably effective against these guys. I wish I'd bought more. Anyway, progressing through here, I just have a sniff around for loot, and then head through this door, and sure enough, more guys. But look, sentry bot's taking aggro, and it just allows me to pick this guy off, because the sentry bot will generally aim at their feet. Well, I don't know if he aims at their feet, but they tend to get stumbled when he's shooting at them. So that's kind of good. There's some loot in the corner, so don't miss that, just an ammo refill. And there is the sentry bot. And then we head around here, there's some bits and pieces that we can sell, some small tools and some beer bottles and stuff. And then it's, there are some stairs there. Why didn't I go? Oh, maybe those were the stairs. I feel like I missed an area. That's disappointing. Anyway, through here there's a mutant running away in the distance. Rawr goes the mutant. And then this ground collapses, and I'm thinking, okay, sentry bot, well, you made it down there. Surely you can make it up here. But, oh my god, there's a Scorcher. So I'm like, okay, maybe we're into Scorcher territory now. That's good. There's a book which you can sell, and I'm like, hang about, where did the sentry bot go? And it can't make it up this. It's stuck there, so I just take the bits out of it and leave it for dead. But then carrying on down here, this is another room with a minigun situation going on and some loot lying around. And there's a lever you can pull there, but also a lock grinder around here with another lever. So I'm like, oh, okay. And it's always worth exploring places. Make another lock grinder, but it's always worth exploring places because that was. So I went down there thinking, well, maybe I don't have to pull the lever. Maybe I can just advance. But then it's like, well, why not, right? So I pull these two levers, and sure enough, two sets of turrets pop out. Here's the first one. You can see the red laser lights up there. The other one you can't see the red laser lights from, but they're just on that gantry up ahead. And now, see, they're shooting there. There's a bunch of bad guys coming, and I sort of get stuck in with them because I'm thinking, well, if they come and attack me here, then both sets of guns will be able to shoot them, and that's a very good thing because it means I have to worry less about my aim, and the turrets will deal with most of them. But then I start to get beaten up, and you can see the red corners coming in, which means I'm close to dying. But I think, well, why don't I... Oh, okay, after I die. Why don't I head upstairs onto this gantry? And they'll have to come to me, and they'll have to run through two sets of guns. And here we go, I run up here, where the lock grinder was, and just stand here and let them come to me. They can't get up on the left, and sure enough, look at this guy. He's just running towards me. He's got like a single path to come there. He's dead. Very few of them make it through, and by the time they do, they're fairly heavily injured. So this would be, I recommend, the place to stand here. And possibly even put a sentry turret down, so that when they're coming up this way, they're also getting a turret shooting at them. But I kind of work my way through here. It doesn't prove too difficult in the end. I get spat at a bit, I lose a bit of health, but it's not the end of the world. And eventually deal with them all. I have to drop down because they mauled me a little bit, but here we go. There's only a few more left at this point. So, but I don't know if pulling that lever was optional. I'm kind of glad I did, because fighting mutants is good. Any practice at shooting is good practice. So, you know, and it seems like I can use all the practice I can get. But you can see I kind of loop around sometimes and get shot myself occasionally, but not the end of the world. I can take a few shots from a turret gun. And don't forget to loot those lambent ones, I'm going to call them lambent, for antiseptic formula. That guy's body was freaking out a bit, but when the turrets switch off, that's an indication that that scene is over. So I'm just having another look around for loot. There's obviously nothing there except in this corner where there is some stuff, which I missed earlier. And then carry on down this way, and I'm making some bandages there and some more Wingsticks because I ran out. So now I've got 45 Wingsticks and a handful of bandages, and I finally remembered to use my Apophis infusion. And then it's just heading this way where there isn't any resistance before we're through to the Scorchers base. And that is pretty much the end of that. I hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Lots of love. Bye!